So you might be wanting to see a comparison between the Samsung Galaxy Note 10 and the Galaxy S10, so I will be giving that to you. These two phones came out in 2019, and they are very, very good phones. However, they're probably not the first phones I'd recommend buying this year, so I will leave those phones linked down in the description that I would recommend buying. You can get them from there, or you can help support the channel at the same time. Now, side by side, you can definitely tell that both of these phones are slightly different, and that is 1000% the case. These two phones were kind of hitting two different demographics. The Note 10, kind of more of like a, I guess like more like professional office type of worker. The Galaxy S10, I think, was like for the everyday type of person. So that's kind of what was going on here. With the Samsung Galaxy S10, this kind of debuted earlier 2019, so it was like earlier that year. And this phone, I remember picking this phone up, and it was shocking to me how big of a difference this thing was from the S9. Although the Note 10 kind of was the same thing as a difference, I was kind of used to it by then because of the Galaxy S10. On the front of this phone, you had a 6.1-inch dynamic AMOLED display, 1440p, still an amazing display. Like the viewing angles are amazing. It's a curved glass panel as well, so it looks beautiful. And it's a hole punch display as well, which looks amazing. And that's something I really do like about these types of devices. Now with the Samsung Galaxy Note 10, like I said, this phone came out a little bit later that year. So I think it was, like in August or September or something like that. And with this type of device, you were getting a 6.3-inch dynamic AMOLED display. So it's slightly bigger than the Galaxy S10, and you do actually notice it. It does actually seem like a pretty bigger display, which I like. Having a bigger display like this is awesome, and that's something I actually do like a lot about these types of phones. Now I do have like two little LED issues here. The hole punch was centered, which this is more common nowadays. This is way more of a modern design than the S10. On top of that, if you look at the S22, if you look at the S23 Ultra, it looks more like this. Now another thing with the Note series, you were getting this S Pen, which was really cool. It's like your own built-in stylus. It's a really nice feature, and this is basically what you were kind of paying for when you're buying a Note. But this time, though, they did remove a few things with the Note 10, which kind of shocked me. For one, this is a 1080p display and not a 1440p display like we have on the Galaxy S10. But the other thing, there isn't a microSD card slot on the Note 10. We did have that on the S10, but we do not have it on the Note 10, which is honestly shocking. And we also don't have a headphone jack in this phone either, I just realized, or I just remembered. So the S10 basically had all three of those things. The S10 doesn't, but you are getting an S Pen on the Note 10, so it's kind of a nice thing. Now in terms of thickness and thickness, you can kind of see a little bit of a different type of styling. Again, the Note 10 is, I think, a little bit more of a modern type of design phone. You're getting USB Type-C ports on the bottom, headphone jack right here on the S10. And on the back, you were getting triple camera setups on both as well. But again, two different designs. It doesn't even look like these two phones came out the same year, if I'm being honest. They kind of look like they came out like different years or something. But luckily for us, we were getting the triple cameras, which were nice. This one was diagonal, this one was vertical, whatever it's called. We are getting the standard glass backs, so no frosted glass backs in either one of these things. We were getting wireless charging and reverse wireless charging on both of these phones, which is really cool. And I think at the end of the day, these are really solid phones. I like these phones a lot. They look very, very good. They may not be like the most perfect phones of all time, but I do think they've held up very well through the last couple of years. And I mean, if I'm just going to be honest, the Galaxy S10 has held up much better than the Galaxy Note 10 in my opinion. So that kind of covers it up there. In terms of software, they both are kind of at fault with the same issues. So they did actually last longer than their predecessors. So the S10 and the Note 10 got an extra year of software updates, which was amazing. I remember when that happened, and that was like the best day of my life when I heard about that. Over exaggeration, don't get mad at me, but with the S10 and the Note 10, they're still kind of getting security updates every once in a while. And I do think I just got another security update yesterday or something, but they aren't really getting like the main full-fledged versions of software. So they're not going to be getting like iOS. They're not going to be getting like Android 14 anymore or Android 13. I think they did stop at Android 12. So not the end of the world or anything, just one of those things to keep in mind. So that kind of covers it up there. Now let's go ahead and do a speed comparison between both of these phones. Now both these phones have the Qualcomm Snapdragon 855 chipset inside of them, but the S10 did debut with 6 gigs of RAM on the base model, but it does go up to 8. This one has 6, where the Note 10 had only one model and it had 8 gigabytes of RAM inside of it. So let's go and see which one's a faster phone between both of these. Okay, let's get into it. Both phones have all the apps cleared on the background, so let's get into it. Phone calls 3, 2, 1. Okay, kind of covers it up there. Messages 3, 2, 1. Okay, so far it's pretty much the same thing, and I think both these phones are going to be way more similar than not. Camera 3, 2, 1. Okay, pop-ups are very annoying. Let's go take a photo 3, 2, 1. I actually took a little bit of a delay on the Note 10. If you saw that, that was kind of surprising. Hopping out of here, let's go into their Galaxy Store. 3, 2, 1. Okay, S10 I think is doing a little bit of a faster job here. Gallery 3, 2, 1. Okay, about the same thing. Play Store 3, 2, 1. I think the S10 was slightly faster, but it was still very, very close between these two. Scrolling through, I think the same old, same old. Not really too many big differences here. Hopping out of these two, see some of these third-party apps. So we can try something like, we're gonna have to do these ones. Quizlet 3, 2, 1. Okay, both did pretty good. Let's go and try Dropbox 3, 2, 1. Okay, Note 10 is faster. Let's go and do Bofa 3, 2, 1. Okay, Note 10 I think was the faster one. Snapchat 3, 2, 1. Okay, not that big of a difference. Twitter 3, 2, 1. Okay, Galaxy S10 was the faster one there. Now I do have to open up Game Launcher on this phone for some reason to load up these games, which is very annoying. So let's go and do the original Temple Run 3, 2, 1. Now I don't think this is really going to work out that well. Random pop-ups and stuff are going to cause some issues, I think. Yep, I knew it. Regardless, probably the Note 10 was going to be faster there. So we're going to do the other one. Let's go and try Temple Run 2, which I do have here. 3, 2, 1. Okay, the Galaxy Note 10 is looking to be a little bit faster here, and the S10 was a little bit slower. Again, not the biggest deal in the world, but still a very surprising thing. So, in my opinion, I really don't think there's one that was way faster than the other one. I think both of these were kind of doing the same thing at the same time. But I do think the S10, actually, I don't know. There were times the Note 10 was faster, there were times the S10 was faster. I honestly do not know which one is the faster one at all times. So, that kind of covers it up there. Now, hitting on the actual camera side on these two things, these two phones, including the 13 Pro, has a triple camera setup, which is beautiful. Having that triple camera setup is awesome, and that's something that I've always liked about both of these devices. You are having the ability of zooming in and zooming out quite a bit, which is very cool. Now, I will say, is there one that's way better than the other one? I genuinely don't know. I think the S10 is pretty good. This is the one I'm most used to. I've compared this phone so many times against almost every single phone that's came out since then, and I've had a great time with it. I feel like I have like so many memories with this phone, even though I've never personally used it like as my main phone. It's a very, very good phone. Photo mode, portrait video. You have 4K 60 on the front and the back of this phone as well. So I would probably go as far as to say this was one of the best cameras, I think, on a phone in 2019. I'm trying to think if that's right. I think that might be a good statement. With the Galaxy Note 10, still a very good phone camera too, but I don't think it's the same level as the Galaxy S10. I think the S10's camera is probably better. These two honestly are probably the same. I'm only saying that because I have more experience with the S10 camera. We still have tons of modes. You can still change up a lot of things here, which is beautiful. But I kind of do think maybe the S10 is better, but they're so close that there's not a big difference. They have the same resolutions as well. So to kind of sum up the video, what I'll tell you is I kind of think that the Note 10 isn't as good of a phone as the S10. You know, I think I like the Note 10 for it being bigger, for it having a newer, kind of more modern design, and the S Pen is a really nice touch. I really don't think, if you've never seen an S Pen or used one, it's so trippy having to, like, being able to use this stylus that plugs into the phone. It feels like a Nintendo DS Lite, to be honest. But with the S10, I think this is probably the phone I'd recommend. But with the S10, I think this is probably the phone I'd recommend more people to buy. I wouldn't recommend people to buy this phone anymore, to be honest, but at a time, this would be a phone I'd recommend more people to buy. But as of now, I would probably recommend buying a phone like a Galaxy S21, an S21 FE, those types of phones, a Pixel 7, a Pixel 6, a Pixel 6a, Pixel 5, an iPhone 11, iPhone 12, like those types of phones that are still supported with software would be the better way to go. These ones I think are good, but the hardware is better than the software right now. So take that as you will. If you have any other thoughts or questions, let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like button, that would mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out.